Hello friends. So even before beginning the video or the concepts in the video, I would like to tell you about inline functions. So what I have done is I have written a simple add function using normal function, and I have written a simple add function using inline concept, and I will just show you the control flow, and inline concept would be completely clear to you. So in a normal function, anyway, I will just read the code that I have written. Please look at the bottom part of the board until you understand inline functions, after which let us go into the concepts of macros. Anyway, the code I have written, it obviously starts with a main function in which I have two integers a and b, and maybe I can initialize them. I should initialize them anyway for the purpose of understanding inline functions. I haven't done all that. I just called the inline function by saying add of a comma b. So when I call add of a comma b, you can see that int add, it's a normal function. It doesn't have the keyword inline. It's a normal function. So it will execute. It will return a plus b. So the control comes out of the add function and control comes back to the main function where printf would be executed. I have shown it pictorially as well. Whenever you call the add function, the control goes to some other part of the memory where the add function is stored. All the lines of the function would get executed and then control would come back. This is how normal functions work. But some of them felt that to execute only one statement, the compiler, it's taking so much of time to go to some other memory, execute and return, because remember, while traversing the memory from one location to another location takes a lot of time. So the program running would become slow. Just to execute one statement, it is doing so much of work. For this only inline functions was invented or implemented. So inline function is got by, as you can see in the right corner, inline function is got by using the keyword inline. It's got by using the keyword inline. Anyway, inline int, add of int a comma int b, in which I have written the one statement, return of a plus b. This is my inline int add function. So how it actually works is, when the main function makes a call to the inline function, all this control and all won't get control transfer and all won't happen. However, the compiler, while compiling itself, it will copy the body of the inline function to the main function itself. In other words, in this case, wherever the call is there, that is wherever add of a comma b is there only that statement would be replaced by return of a plus b. Pictorially I have shown it here. You can see it here pictorially. Pictorially you can see it here. Anyway, before compilation, it would look like this. I have called various sentences, various statements are there, and then I have called add function, which is an inline function. After compilation, the body of add itself is pasted wherever the call was there. So in that way, while executing, the compiler or the terminal does not need to go in search of the add function, because the body of the add function is only pasted in it in the main method. That is the concept of inline functions. I hope you have understood it. Okay. Now let us move on to the aptitude question. What is the difference between macros and inline functions? Macros also, it performs replacement operation only. Inline function also, it performs replacement, or in other words copy pasting only it performs. Then what is the difference between macros and inline functions, you might ask? I have told you, in macros no calculation occurs. Whatever is there, it would, whatever you have to replace, that would be replaced, but no calculation occurs. If that statement that I have made, it's not very clear, look at this program and it will be completely clear. The program, as usual, I begin by saying hash include stdio.h, and I define a macro called square, and the parameter token that I've taken is x. Wherever square of x is there, I should replace it with x star x. I shouldn't calculate x star x. I should just replace, wherever square of x is there, I should replace it with x star x. Okay. And then int main, in which I say int x is an integer, and it is given the following value, 36 divided by square of x. You know how inline function replacement works. Anyway, I have shown it in the left side in red ink. It would become 36 divided by 6 star 6. After simplification, you know how to apply the BODMAS rule. Left to right, you should start. 36 by 6 would be 6. And then 6 into 6 would be 36 again. So, the printed value, the output would be 36 when I, write this code using macros. I hope this part is completely clear because we've already, done this in the previous videos. Now let me write the same code using inline functions. In inline functions, I hope it is visible. As usual, in the inline function program, I begin my program by saying hash include stdio.h, and then I will create an inline function called square, which takes x as the parameter, and also its return type is int that I have mentioned, and in its body it should return x star x. That's what I'm saying, return x star x. In the main function, I have the same statement, int x is equal to 36 by square of 6. But after compilation, this is what would happen. In other words, macros just replaces whatever should be copied and pasted. In other words, the square of x would be replaced with x star x. But in case of inline functions, x star x is calculated and that value would be replaced. This is one of the differences between, and then afterwards when I say print x, the output would be 36 by 36, which is 1. Okay. So as you can see, the outputs are different for almost the same program. So the difference between inline function and macros is that in macros nothing is calculated, it's copied and pasted as it is. In inline function it is first calculated and then pasted. That's the difference. And also, one more difference I've already told you. As token to square, in macros, you can pass integer or a float or character. In general, you can pass any parameter. But in case of functions, you have to pass the data type would be mentioned as int x. So you have to pass an integer value only as a parameter of the square function. That is one difference which I've been mentioning from before.